All right, folks, good morning. All right, let's get started here. So for today, um, April the 10th, we have the following information. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we had core CPI month over month, which came in weaker than expected, substantially weaker than expected. We have core CPI month over month, um, which also came in less than expected, a lot less. It came in at negative 0.1%. We had CPI year over year, which came in less than expected at 2.4%. Now, these are good numbers, at least as far as the market should be concerned, because that means that we're seeing some deflationary action. Unemployment claims came in as expected, so no surprise there. At 9:30 a.m., we'll have FOMC member Logan speaking. That's not expected to have a significant impact. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have FOMC member Bauman speaking, also not expected to have a significant impact. And FOMC member Schmidt speaking, same thing, not expected to have a significant impact. At 12 p.m., we're going to have FOMC member Goolsby speaking and FOMC member Harker speaking. Then at 1:01 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have the 30-year bond auction, which is expected to have a moderate impact. And at 2 p.m., we're going to have the federal budget balance, which is not expected to have much of an impact. So the FOMC members, although they're not expected to have an impact, you never know. We'll just keep an eye out for anything that they say that could move the markets. But at 1:01 p.m., 30-year bond auction should have some impact. All right, having said that, let's take a look at the pre-market. Now, what we can see already is that unlike what we would expect in the pre-market um, with the fact that those CPI numbers came in less than expected, we're actually seeing the market slump a little bit. Okay, so we're going to open slightly lower than we closed yesterday. However, obviously yesterday's close was up very dramatically. The rally, of course, was due to the delay or the pause, temporary pause of tariffs to keep them at 10%. So there's not like the tariffs don't exist, but they're going to be at 10% for the next 90 days, as clearly there are some negotiations going on. But nevertheless, the markets have slumped slightly. Okay. Now, keep in mind that with the CPI numbers down, that should be a positive for the markets in terms of what their expectations are for what the FOMC will do. But perhaps we'll see some comments, potential comments made by the FOMC members who are speaking today, and they may confirm or deny that. All right. Having said that, let's take a quick look at the stocks we were looking at yesterday. We did look at a few stocks yesterday, but nothing actually worked out the way that we wanted. However, later on they did. So Apple was one of the stocks we looked at. Didn't get the follow through that we wanted originally, but later on in the day it did have a sharp move up on that news. So if you caught that news, great. But if you didn't, don't worry about it. All right, so let's move on to what's moving in the pre-market here. So bear with me 1 second. I just have to pull up that list and we'll get started here. So scanning through the pre-market, let's see what we got. The other stock we looked at yesterday was Rivian. Same problem, didn't really do anything until that news came out, so no follow through. All right, so looking at the pre-market, here's what we have so far. Um, Sorry, scrolling through here. All right, I see a lot of symbols that show up as being active in the pre-market, but none of them really doing anything special. The major stocks are all showing up on my scan, but they are not. None of them are moving anything anywhere close to enough. But let's see. Yes, I'm looking at. Let's see, SoFi, maybe. Let's see. Okay, SoFi is down 3.42%, so not enough of a move, so we'll skip that. Um, let's look at HYFM, Hydrofarm Holdings, HYFM. That's currently up 19%. 8.1 million shares is at least $1 per share, so that all qualifies for sure. So we'll add that to our pre-market list. Symbol is HYFM. Right, next up is looks like ELAB, ELAB. All right, that's up 13.53% on 6.2 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll add that to our pre-market watch list. The symbol again is ELAB. Okay. Next up is BABA. Actually, sorry, that's NYSE stock. Never mind. Next up is BCLI, which is presently down 7.59% on 4.8 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our list. The symbol again is BCLI. Next up is WHLR Wheeler, which I don't know if it's still up enough, but let's see. That's currently up, okay, well, 43% still up enough. Over 24 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll add Wheeler, WHLR, to our list. All right, next up is KTTA. That's currently up about 83%, 35 million shares roughly. It's over $1 per share, so we'll add KTTA to our list. Also looks like it's very active at the moment. Okay, next up is ICCT. That's currently up about 22% on 2.1 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll add ICCT, excuse me, to our list. And then next up is PHIO. And that is presently up 8.44% on 1.8 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So I'll add that to our pre-market list as well. PHIO is the symbol. All right, folks, I'm going to just wrap up here in a minute. If you folks see any other stocks that meet all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. The four criteria are: must be a NASDAQ listed stock, must be trading at least $1 per share in this current pre-market session. Also, it must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume at this time, and also at this time must be at least a 6% price change, which can be positive or it can be negative. So if you see any other stocks meeting all four of those criteria, other than the ones I've already mentioned, let me know in the chat, and I will post the ones I just mentioned here so we have them for our list. TQQQ, okay. NASDAQ ETF. Yep, that's currently down 6.5% on about 21.5 million shares. So yeah, we can add that for sure. TQQQ. All right. TSLZ. Let me see what TSLL is doing. All right, so TSLL is down 6.5%, about 47 million shares. That's the Tesla ETF. We can go ahead and add that to our list. Let me see what MVDL is doing. MVDL is currently down 6.7%, so we could add that as well. All right. So that's the NASDAQ, I'm sorry, the NVIDIA ETF, down 6.37%. All right. All right, folks, so we'll wrap up for today's pre-market pulse. Please be sure to like the video. See, we have 4 likes for more than 4 people watching, so please be sure to hit the like button. It greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications. And if anyone is watching this video on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, be sure to check out fundertrading.com. That's our website. You'll see a link in the description to this video. Other than that, for everyone as part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 17 minutes or so. We'll pick up for today's trading session. All right, other than that, folks, have a great trading day, and I will see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. I'll be in New Mexico at the time, but I'll see you then. Have a good one. Take care.